In the high valley of Kanyora, where the mountains cupped the sky like an old hand holding a blue bowl, people spoke in whispers about the midnight drums. No one claimed to play them, no one dared. For generations, the villagers believed the drums were the voices of their ancestors, warriors, healers, and chiefs who woke only when danger pressed against the valley's borders. When their warning rolled across the night air, the living listened. On the night everything changed. A young woman named Lira sat beside her grandmother's hut, grinding herbs for morning medicine. The moon was a thin sliver. Its light barely dusted the earth. The wind smelled of cold stone and distant rain. And then she heard it boom, a long, low strike like a fist hitting the sky itself. The ground under her feet shivered. Lira froze. The bowl of herbs slipped from her hands, scattering across the dirt like tiny green stars. The drums sounded again and again, a rhythm older than words, ancient and powerful. From inside the hut, her grandmother stepped out slowly, leaning on her carved walking stick. Her eyes, clouded by age but sharp beneath the white film, fixed on the dark hills to the east. "They have not spoken in 40 years, she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "Grandmother, is it truly them?" Lira asked, her own voice barely a breath. Her grandmother nodded once, her expression grim. "The ancestors warn us. War is coming." Lira's heart pounded in time with the drums. "But from where? Who would ever harm us?" "Someone who has forgotten respect," the old woman said, her gaze unwavering, "or someone who never learned it." Throughout the village, torches suddenly snapped to life. Doors creaked open. People stood in the cool night air, their faces pale in the flickering light, listening. Even the dogs lay silent, ears flat against their heads, sensing the unnatural tension. Chief Mandoro arrived, wrapped in a long cloak embroidered with copper charms that glinted each time the drums struck. His voice carried over the anxious crowd. "The spirits speak because they must," he declared. "We will gather at dawn. No one leaves the valley tonight." But Lira felt something tug inside her, an instinct, a spark of connection. The drums didn't feel like a warning about strangers. Not to her, they felt familiar, almost like a call meant only for her. As if drawn by invisible hands, she started moving toward the eastern ridge, away from the village. The closer she walked, the louder the drums became, not in her ears, but in her chest, vibrating deep beneath her ribs. A shape emerged among the trees, a tall figure clad in old ceremonial armor, its bronze plates dulled by centuries. A warrior, yet not made of flesh. The figure flickered like a flame in the wind. Lira gasped, stumbling backward, but the spirit lifted a hand in a gesture of peace. A voice entered her mind, clear and strong, without a sound being spoken. "Child of my blood, you hear us clearly. You were born to." Lira's own voice trembled as she asked, "What danger is coming?" The spirit's eyes, hollow, yet glowing, softly dimmed with a deep sorrow. "Not an enemy from outside. The danger rises within the valley itself." Lira felt the meaning strike her like a physical blow. Within. "Our own people?" "Yes." The spirit pointed a translucent hand back toward the village. "Your chief plans to break the old treaties, to take the western fields by force come morning. If he does, blood will soak this valley for generations." Lira's stomach twisted. Chief Mandoro was trusted, respected, but she suddenly remembered the odd whispers, the new alliances, the strange visitors over the last few months. It all clicked into place with horrifying clarity. "What must I do?" she asked, her resolve hardening. "Tell them the truth. Speak with our authority. The drums will give you strength." Behind the spirit, dozens of faint figures appeared, warriors, mothers, elders, the entire ancestral host. Their combined presence hummed like a rising storm. "We will not let our people walk into ruin," they said as one, their voices echoing in her soul. When Lira returned to the village square, torches burned bright and Chief Mandoro stood upon the stone platform, giving orders to armed men. She forced her way through the crowd, her voice rising with the steady, booming rhythm of the unseen drums. "Stop." Everything fell silent, not just because she shouted, but because the drums suddenly halted the very moment she commanded it. Eyes wide with shock, the villagers stared as Lira stepped forward, the air around her shimmering with a soft ancestral glow. "The spirits have spoken," she said, her voice echoing with an unnatural power. not of an enemy beyond our borders, but of a betrayal happening right here. Chief Mandoro stiffened, his face contorting. Lies. But before he could say another word, a ghostly drumbeat thundered from the ridge, one single, final, deafening strike. Mandoro's face twisted in pure fear. The people looked from him to Lira. And in that moment they knew. At dawn, Mandoro was stripped of his title and sent into exile. The valley's leaders swore new oaths of peace before the ancient ancestor stones. And though the drums never sounded again in Lyra's lifetime, the villagers would forever tell the tale of the girl who heard the truth in the midnight drums, and of the ancestors who spoke, not of war coming to the valley, but of war rising from within it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from around the world. We'll see you next time.